Well, folks, here we are. We have made it to the end of HUM 1020, Introduction to the Humanities. This class is a required elective for Valencia College students. For some of you, it's not something you plan to continue studying in your academic or professional careers. Some of you may even be breathing a sigh of relief that you are finally free from this material. Whether this class was interesting to you, one of your favorites, or you did not care much for it, there is no denying that we have covered an enormous span of history and ideas together over the last 15 weeks. In this very short video, I will summarize the way that I designed this course to unfold. I'll cover some of the main themes we explored and express what I believe to be are some of the takeaways that this course has offered you, no matter where your path in life will take you. There are many ways to define culture, but this class defined it as the visual, literary, and philosophical evidence of humankind over thousands of years. Over the past 15 weeks, we have looked at a lot of this evidence, and we've traced the varied uses for culture across time and space. We began in Unit 1, which explored the role that visual and material culture played in establishing civilizations and articulating power. We looked at some foundational aspects of early society, including the prevalence of writing, stories and myths, religion, and beliefs about life and death. Throughout these weeks, we focused on the ways that visual and literary culture established legacies and reflected the intangible values and beliefs held by different religions and civilizations. Continuing on with Unit 2, we explored the way that culture developed in response to emerging global trade networks, which not only reflected humans' relationship to consumerism, but also influenced the way that people saw themselves as part of that story. We traced materials and ideas as they moved from place to place, and we started to see that culture, not just art, but music, literature, and philosophy, started to reflect the intricacies, paradoxes, and even frustrations of the human experience. And we finished up recently with our present moment, exploring how history has influenced us, from industrialism to global trade and new technologies that fuel incredible advances and existential questions. Each week of the course has floated in and around a central question. What is culture, and why do we study it? Scholars of the humanities analyze culture from multiple angles to explore what it tells us about each other, ourselves, and the ideas that connect us all. Studying art, literature, and philosophy from this perspective helps us understand that history is a thing that's built in its telling, and that it is influenced by the perspectives of its authors. And now that we have completed our journey of human history, I hope that it's become clear to you that there really is no single clear answer to this question. There are a multitude of ways that we can answer it. So many, in fact, that the question itself almost becomes an exercise for thought. Why do we study the visual, literary, and philosophical evidence created by humankind? And at the end of the day, what does all of this matter? Every semester, there are a handful of students who express frustration with this course because it requires us to do a few things that are antithetical to our experience as modern humans. Studying cultural production requires us to decenter ourselves and see the world from multiple points of view. It requires us to be patient, reserve judgment, and listen to others. It takes time and multiple consistent efforts to read, think about, and respond to cultural artifacts. It often has multiple answers, which can be annoying to those of us who are conditioned to expect closure. In many ways, this work conflicts with our fast paced world and desire for convenience. But human beings are inconvenient. We are selfish, judgmental, cruel, and destructive beings. We are also innovative, have a remarkable capacity for self reflection and creativity. Humanities asks us to consider difficult questions, such as how is my worldview formed by the culture I experience? And it brings us into contact with generations of people who have asked the same question. Human culture is vast and diverse. We simply cannot cover it all. And I have never claimed to cover it all. With this in mind, beneath the layers of history that I have shared with you, my underlying motivation this semester has been to equip you with skills in research, critical thinking, and communication so that you can go out into the world and continue your studies based on what you're interested in. Since day one of the semester, our course page has communicated my vision for the students in this class. I wrote, by the semester's end, you will have gained the tools needed to analyze evidence from any period and understand something about that culture. I hope that you will spend some time this week thinking about whether or not that statement is true for you. Of course, it can be addressed with quantifiable evidence. You've submitted quizzes, engaged in countless discussions, completed reflections, and analyzed primary sources, all of which have a deliberate system of points attached to them to show whether or not you demonstrated these capabilities. But the true value of the course will happen long after we've said our goodbyes. It might even come years from now when you've forgotten that you even took this class. The real impact of studying the humanities comes from the small, infinitesimal, and unquantifiable decisions we make in our day-to-day lives. The value of this course lies in your willingness to put this knowledge into action, to choose to investigate and therefore understand with both open eyes and an open mind the spaces and objects that surround you, the people you encounter, or the region you are in. Thank you so much for registering for my class. I have really enjoyed working with you this semester, and from the bottom of my heart, wish you lots of luck in your futures.